Mpanza started his journey back in 2014 and has won many awards. He's now a digital entrepreneur and a TV presenter.
A lot of people are scared to start because people are afraid of sucking. That is always my big one. It's like, you're going to be bad. There's nothing you can do about it. You are going to be, that first video, you're going to look back and just be like, how could my friends and family allow me to upload this? Because I did the same thing. If you go back and watch my YouTube videos, you see the first one, you're like, is this the same person? A lot of people feel less alone when they watch YouTube and realize there are other people going through the exact same thing as me. And I think that is why people find my content so relatable. It's a lot of students. Those are the biggest market. Like they sit at varsity and they have all this Wi-Fi, so all they do is just watch YouTube videos. A brand will call you and they'll say, we want you in our campaign. We just want you there as a personality. And then you'll go, they'll make the video. You don't have to create anything. They just want to use your face. And then the second way is that Google pays you through ads. You know those ads people skip during YouTube videos? Don't skip. That's how we make money. That's how we get paid. And then the third one, which I think is the more lucrative one, that's where most of our income comes from, is brands will invite us. They'll chat to us and they'll be like, listen, we have a phone, we have a whatever product or an idea that we want you to share. Can you please include it in your YouTube videos? And then we'll tell them this is how much it costs to put your product in my video. And that's how we make most of our money.
We also spoke to Ashla, a young and upcoming rapper.
Social media has grown over the years. There's no doubt about that. And everyone is trying to dig into it from progressed countries. I'm known as Ms. Ida on social media, which is my stage name. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, dancer. So on social media, I'm known for rapping. I'm known for influencing. A lot of brands, a lot of bigger brands want to be associated with someone who can influence the crowd or influence, the public. So the more followers you have, the easier it gets for you. Right now, I'm still trying to build up that clientele, but I think that it's very advisable for someone who's trying to be an influencer to, tap into or try and make social their best friend. You have to go to school, regardless of your talent, regardless of the power you have in social media.
And on that note, we want to say hello, Dumelang Sanbanani, South Africa. Welcome to Expressions. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. I'm your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
And I'm your host, Umxolisi Wago Masango Sinbingele Sinamgele. Sizagin Koma from our headquarters in Auckland Park, Johannesburg. We talk about social media influencers. We find out how they make a living by just having a huge following on social media. A poll question here to is becoming a social media influencer a viable way of making a living, Jackie?
Well, that's a very important question, and we're definitely going to find out because the influencer marketing has become a new trend in South Africa. Now, many have made a name for themselves as online influencers. Now, the South African consumer takes on by large interest in online trends as their counterparts in the United States as well as in Europe. Now, this is particularly evident in popular online niches that are target younger generations such as fashion, health, and fitness. And so,
well, Jackie, as Expressions, we indeed took to the streets. Do take a look at this.
Hi Expressions, my name is Amanda and I'm your street journey for the day. So today we're talking about social media influencers. Social media influencers have their own voices. They might want to put out emotion or a notion, and then honestly, on my personal opinion, is quite subjective. Who is doing the things for you in social media and stuff?
I think for me it's Mihlali N, considering that she basically started on social media with her whole makeup tutorials and everything, and now she's like a big brand.
Let's talk about my personal favorite, Ula Sizwe. Niteni guys.
He's amazing.
We have these people with followers and stuff. Do you think ukuthi ngoba nakho umuntu unama followers amaningi njengamanje sesingamthola apresenta something on TV?
Well, I personally perceive this in both ways. As a producer, you'd want someone that's going to bring in the views. So obviously, the logical choice is for you to go for someone who is a social media influencer because you are guaranteed those views.
Considering that with presenting, say, a TV show or a radio show, if I was like the producer of that show, the first thing on my mind is I want my show to be out there. I want people to watch. I want people to listen. I want as many people to. So over a person that has 300 followers and a person that has 3,000 followers, I'd most likely go for the one that has 3,000 followers.
Certain things should be like not really based on the followers these people have. It's rather the talent that these people impose on these things and what they bring.
Okay guys, nibazwile ukuthi bathini ngama social media influencers. Kukuwe ukuthi ucabangani?
Young people being heard loud and clear on their perspectives around social media influences. But to help me unpack this issue that we're going to be discussing in our studio tonight is a social media extraordinaire himself. Ola Caesar. I feel like I must do the whole like. Welcome to Expressions.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. And of course, I'm not going to be having this conversation by myself. Mkolisi is going to be manning our social media and bringing some of your perspectives and insight on this issue. So make sure that you interact with us. Lasize.
Yes, love.
You know, I feel like
sweet.
I think the viewers are looking at us and like, who wore the wig? Who did the blonde better?
I think I did.
You.
My wig game these days has been popping.
You have been popping. So let's talk a little bit around that, right? So you are a social media darling, right?
Yes.
You're doing videos, you're doing brands, but we want to understand. I mean, we heard a little bit around what does it mean to be a social media for Batukokai, who've heard this word being said so many times? What does that mean for you?
For me, it is something that's very dynamic. It is a career. It is basically you living your life out for the public. You know, with the career I do on social media, you don't have privacy. You need to allow people into your space. And, you know, you get paid to live your life, basically.
So that's interesting. You use the word career.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we are living in a country where unemployment is so high. I mean, the numbers were coming in from stats saying that 6 million people are looking for jobs. Is this what you would call a viable way to make a living? Can people take it seriously? Is it legit?
Well, you know, it depends on what kind of person you are. This is more like a business. You know, you're an entrepreneur because with the work that you get, it's seasonal. You know, you may get a gig this time with a certain brand like this, and this time you won't have a gig. It's basically like a business which you need to just really just know how to manage financially and sustainable. And it's just building relationships.
Yeah. There's so many people who are trying this out. It's a very saturated market. So for you, what is your key to success? How have you gotten it right? Why are you so relatable?
I think it's being very authentic, very true to who you are, and just knowing your niche and your target market and just sticking to your guns. You know, there's something I always emphasize on, just sticking to what you know.
And it's not all rosy and all, you know, rainbow and sunshine. Let's talk about the dark side of living your life in the open, where people feel they belong to you, and you know, you're being judged on different standards, scrutiny, and the cyberbullying. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So with living your life on social media, you open yourself up to a lot of things. I mean, people have an opinion about me, everything I do, what I dress. You know, they feel entitled to the person they see, because at the end of the day, they're the same people that consume what you put out. So it's a bit tough, you know, especially when people now drag you for example, if my wig was not straight, or if I didn't say this or that, or woo, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just the dark side of it is just how people perceive and view you, and how authentic you are, and what you give and what you can't give, and your personal life. I mean, now people know my family, and I can't now go out in public and say, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to justify it.
Yeah, and let's talk now about the business, the ability for you to monetize it. I mean, I touched a little bit on it in the beginning to say that and you know, and the characters, you know, for people who don't know, characters. But what's the one with the red hair? Like again, so talk to us about how you've gotten that right. How, you know, what is it that brands feel you do so well that speaks to their markets?
I think with what I do is the alignment with the content I produce. I mean, many of the contents I produce, especially with like Nomad Frequency, is content that is relatable to the brand and to what they're trying to appeal to. So I'm like the adapter. and then combine the communications, the relationships, and I just translate what they want to translate on a larger scale.
So my thinking is, so you wake up and you think, okay, I think social media is there and I'm able to do something with this space. But how do you come up with the creativity, the content? Like, what is your inspiration, you know?
I think my content is driven from everyday things and what we consume on social media. I mean, right now I am loving your earrings, babe. They are banging, you know? And I might just make a video, Huri. The longer the earrings, the longer the racks, you know? You never know. So it's anything that you see. It's just that as a social media entrepreneur, you need to be very cohesive and aware of your environment, and that's how I think you'll succeed.
Yeah. So you know now, and we also did a show on it last week. We got Mahlali to come on the show, and we're talking about, I know, right? We were talking about the fourth industrial revolution, and we're talking about how online is impacting the way we do life and the way that we do business. And I just wanted to know, in terms of your input as someone who lives online, literally, you know, what is your take on the fact that literally we are going digital, but we're going digital on the greatest level? How is it even impacting your business?
For me, it's been impacting my business very well because online is the next big thing. You know, everyone slowly but surely is on YouTube. They are gravitating towards watching things later. It is slowly but surely, it's benefiting my business very well, but also it's becoming a very saturated market. Like, everyone wants to jump in, you know. When I started off, it wasn't a big thing, but now since I've made it like a big thing, everyone's like, oh, okay, if that's what it's chelete, lena kitla again, and it's like, babe, it's tough, you know. It's not just for anyone, because now brands are like now kind of understanding the influencing game, and you know, you just need to know your story.
So it's hard to be you because you're such a trendsetter. Everybody just wishes to be you, darling.
And right? Then like they wanna come now and say, "Huri, wow, last is where you did this." You know the entitlement. Like,
yes.
It's just so sad being a public figure, because sometimes when you express yourself, people have an entitlement to say, yeah, you're being cocky, you're being childish, you're being this, you're being that, and it's just you just venting out, because at the end of the day, we are humans.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we just need to give each other love, right? And support each other in the things that you're doing. And I hope you're getting a lot of insight on this topic around being a social media influencer. I hope you're taking notes, hey, because who knows, you could be the next big thing. You're watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this.
Well, welcome back. You're still watching the Expressions, your hashtag #1 youth current affairs show. I'm Kanjik Siyabuza is becoming a social media influencer, a viable way of making a living. I'm now joined by Ursula Mfenguza, who is a rapper. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Evening, and thank you for having me tonight.
Siswami, though, now you want to get into the space of Ugubai influencer, right? Why?
I think more than anything, it gives you the confidence to become who you are, because more often than not, when you get on shows, you know, you have some set or a certain way you have to do things. But with social media and influencing, you get to create your own content. You get to be yourself in a different way that you couldn't imagine.
So, Lasizwe, I think there's something that's coming through, like Ubabugeli Betu. They're not really aware. Ama likes la wathola ku Facebook na ku Instagram wona kwenzela imali. How do the brands actually translate lama likes owatholayo into imali?
So with the posting and all of those that happens when you collaborate with the brands more especially, they look at the engagement and impressions you pull, because a brand will collaborate with you to sell something that they can't reach. For example, let's break it down. You have 1,000 followers and they have 100 followers, and they have a phone. And that phone, they will reach 1,000 people on your platform. So it's more or less, how many people can you reach for them to buy, because it's a return on investment.
All right, interesting. Now, I'm going to come back to you, young lady. We are Israel now, but of course, you know, being an influencer, I'm sure, also comes with certain responsibilities. True. And we have to agree on that. Yeah. Lasizwe, I'm sure you've on many occasions sometimes been caught, you know, with your tongue somewhere, you know. It does come with responsibilities. angeke uzobe kwi-platform efana nakwi-Instagram nakwi-Facebook and still say anything you want to say.
True.
Is it
I mean,
correct?
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. I've been in the game for 2 years. I've made so many mistakes that I regret. I mean, one tweet can destroy your whole career, literally. And funny enough with me, I thank my sister, Kanye, for being that guidance that, okay, don't say this, don't say that. And with the biggest scandal that happened with me, where people dragged me for saying that I bought a house, and she rectified it, because what she'd said is that if I did not rectify that, someone was going to call Home Loans SA and say, hey, does this have a loan from the home or whatever? What's happening there? And it was going to be a big thing. And
you must watch.
now it seems like, okay, we can't work with this person because I'm not check record sharp.
Absolutely. So you need to watch everything you say in that particular space. So, by the way, your sister is Kanyimbao, right? Mfobo Kanyimbao, all right. So, Lasizo, let's talk about the numbers. I'm a follower now on Instagram.
I think now I'm sitting on like 520,000 followers.
Good Twitter?
Half a million. Let's put it to a million. I'm getting to a million very soon.
Good Twitter?
Twitter, 430,000.
We also get the numbers. Now, also my endorsements, be influencer. So, Ursula, I can see you already buzzing with so much excitement right now. Right. So what's your passion? What really gets you going? Talk to us about what you're passionate about that you'd like to put onto the social media space once you're in.
I'm a rapper, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a poet, and I'm basically an all-rounder. So I can do anything in the arts industry. I'm looking to bring that in a much, I think, set aside way, or like set back way, like to just bring in education with what I'm doing. So in terms of rapping and in poetry, I'm able to incorporate my schooling knowledge and all of that.
So you're quite passionate about education.
Writing down.
I think that's something they also advocate for, for you to put on the platform, something you're passionate about. I want you to think about the most bizarre thing you've ever seen on social media. I'm going to quickly take my WhatsApp note and then you think about it. Ne?
Okay.
Mbogeli, so at the back of that, I just need to quickly find out the expression yako for this week, 18. Please roll it for me.
Hi Expressions, my name is Prudence Makobalo, and I do believe that becoming a social media influencer is a good viable way of making a living because everyone is going digital. So organizations and agencies recruit people based on their followers. So basically, with more following is more endorsements, with more endorsements is more money.
Yeah, that's a point we also just spoke about. Back-to-back coverage of what you have to say there at home. Let's have a look at our social media pages. Vutlare says, yes, in my perspective, I think it's very viable because one can advertise his or her own brand, making more social users aware, hence attracting potential customers. Zweli says, yes, and I'm one of those people who are making a profit out of social media by promoting products for the companies, hence I'm sure that one day I'll have this as a profession. So what's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen on social media?
It's one of those skating things, like when they skateboard down and up and make those cool flips on top. It's really cool.
Oh,
in the air.
Those people also make money.
They do.
Wow,
quite a lot of money on
interesting.
YouTube.
So let's take one more before we go to break. Machaga says some people misuse social media, but yet it still makes changes in people's lives. For example, you can promote your business. Of course, speaking to that point, we just spoke about how social media and using it comes with responsibilities. In Bugeli, we continue with this very fun conversation at the back of this. Remember to tell a friend that the hottest current affairs show is now showing. Back after this.
Welcome back. You're watching Expressions here on SABC1. Tonight, we are speaking about social media influencers. And the whole question that we'll be saying is at least is social media influencers becoming a viable way for you to make a living as a young person? And like I said, I hope you've been taking notes because who knows, we could definitely change your life. And then you can give credit to Expressions to say, Lasizwe and Expressions helped you to actually become someone who is brand credible, I guess. So, we have to kind of wrap this conversation up, and I think I just want to leave some pearls of wisdom to young people. As much as social media is a platform where you've made business. We also know that social media has given young people a voice. And I just want to find out from you, how have you used this platform for positive change or positivity around you?
For me, like social media, it has given me a voice, number one, and I've always used it to empower young kids to do what they do and to continue creating new avenues to make an income. And with the power of social media, I mean, I'm able to pay like unprivileged, like, but for school fees. Like I pay people school fees every year. So that's the power that I have, that it's pretty cool to have. And the advice that I want to give is, especially with my sister that wants to be a social media influencer, that know your niche, know your market, know what works for you, because there are many people that want to be a rapper, a poet, all-rounder. What new thing are you bringing to the table? Because, I mean, tomorrow, we get 40-inch. What must happen?
So, how much do you make? Hey,
I mean, you know what? It's. I don't want to say any figures, but if you work hard enough, you will make the equivalent money that you work hard on.
But in a nutshell, just how much can a young person make in the space?
You can make bracket. SARS ishebetsi.
Oh, okay. Excuse. You're clever. Let's see. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, our time has come to an end, but this was amazing. Thank you so much. Exactly. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys are having an awesome time. Thank you so much for joining us. And Ursula, thank you so much. Mbogeli Lapo, as you do know, we always ask what you'd like for us to discuss. Ngesondel Zaya, and this is your suggestion. Roll it.
Hi, fellow expression people, it's Ayanda here. In regards to influencers, I would give it a definite yay. Look, it's shaping customer behavior altogether, and it's a huge network of spreading information. So that gets a big thumbs up from me. And one topic that I feel would be relevant to speak about, but rather emotional, would be that of child maintenance. There was an act that was set up earlier last year to basically blacklist anybody who does not pay their maintenance, but to date nobody has been paid. So let's ask that question, why, and what's the process behind it?
Interesting topic that we have next week. You want to tune in for that. Now, is becoming a social media influencer a viable way of making a living? About 80% of you said yes, and just about 20% said no. Now, Cutting Edge is up next. Zaddy plays us out.
Adios, muchachos. Bye.
It's capital. Yeah. Oh my. Use a warrior. Let nobody tell you different. Oh my. Yeah. Use a warrior. You still remember when you started, and you told everybody you were starting, and they never believed you. You ain't bothered. You just wanted the back and get rewarded. I know you having the back, but you still making tracks, and you never relax, cause you wanna get racks, and you wanna get better, and you wanna be mega, and no matter the weather, you just wanted the cheddar. Usakumbula pare, beba shatela.